I am Dr. Rani Lakshmi. I will discuss on clinical features and investigations of fungal keratitis. Coming to the clinical features, the major risk factors causing the fungal keratitis includes trauma, the most common one, contact lens use, ocular surface disease, the topical medications including steroids, anesthetic abuse, and broad spectrum antibiotics, a corneal surgery, and immunocompromised state. The common symptoms in case of fungal keratitis includes the foreign body sensation, slow onset, increasing pain, blurry vision, photophobia, red eye, tearing, and discharge. The symptoms are usually much milder than the clinical signs. Coming to the signs, the non-specific signs in any case of keratitis includes the ciliary congestion, epithelial defect, and an anterior chamber reaction. And the specific signs in cases of fungal keratitis are a dry-looking ulcer with an elevated edge and feathery margin. The fungal keratitis usually they present with the satellite lesion, which are these stromal infiltrates, and they can also present with the endothelial plaques, which you can see in the pictures. The hypopoion in the fungal keratitis are usually sterile or non-sterile with thick and immobile. They can also present with an immune ring of Wesley, which is due to the deposition of the immune complexes and inflammatory cells. Some keratitis, they present with the gray or brown pigmentations. That's usually suggestive of dematiaceous fungi like Covillaria. They can also present with stromal abscess. Coming to the slit lamp examination of a fungal keratitis, first thing is we have to stain with the fluorescent to assess the epithelial defect, and we have to assess the corneal infiltrate, assess for the anterior chamber reaction, and avert the upper eyelid to check for the retained foreign body, and also look for the hypopoion and check the intraocular pressure digitally. Every keratitis we have to describe, and the ulcer has to be noted periodically. So in the description of the ulcer, we have to look for the location of the ulcer. It can be a central, paracentral, peripheral, or a total ulcer. The shape of the ulcer, which is in which the fungal keratitis, they will not have a definite shape. The margins of the ulcer, usually irregular, rolled out, or a feathery margin. The size of the ulcer is important for the follow-up visit and monitor the progress. The epithelial defect and the size of the infiltration has to be measured separately in two largest meridians. The infiltration, it can maybe single or multiple. Depth, size, and density of the infiltration has to be noted. The corneal sensation, either with the cotton wisp or esthesiometer, can be noted. This is a color coding and a diagrammatic representation in cases of any pathology in cornea. Coming to the investigations, the major part of the investigations in fungal keratitis includes, first will be the smear, KOH suspension, culture, detection of antigen, antibodies and endotoxins, PCR, and confocal microscopy. Coming to the smear and culture, the instruments used for the collection of the samples are Chimeras spatula can be used, or a 23 or 26 gauge needle, or a Bart Parker blade can be used, or a platinum spatula. Usually the scrapings are done under topical anesthesia, that is 0.5% paracaine. In the lower fornix can be instilled. And the paracaine is least bactericidal as compared to the tetracaine and xylocaine. A sedation may be needed in cases of children and uncooperative patients. A KOH mount is usually used to remove the other fibers, leaving the fungal elements which are resistant, and very useful as it can be done quickly and treatment can be started if the fungal ulcer is present. It can detect the fungus, nocardia, pythium, and acanthamoeba cyst. How to prepare a KOH mount is, place the corneal scraping on the clean slide, add a drop of 10% KOH to the specimen, cover the specimen with the cover slip and avoid air bubble entrapment. Incubate it for 5 to 10 minutes at the room temperature and examine the saline wet mount with 10x and 40x magnification. The picture shows the branching septate fungal elements seen in KOH mount. According to the many studies, the KOH has a sensitivity of 61 to 94% and specificity of around 91 to 97% in detecting the fungal keratitis. The stains used are, one is gram stain, that is used for bacteria, yeast, cyst of acanthamoeba. It can detect around 60 to 70% of the bacteria. The fungal hyphae will have a faintly stained walls with unstained protoplasm. The Giemsa stain is used to locate the viral and the chlamydial inclusion bodies, polymorphs, and mononuclear cell besides the above microbes. Ziehl-Neelsen techniques is used to detect the mycobacteria and nocardia. The acridine orange is used to detect the bacteria, fungi, and Acanthamoeba cyst, and Calcifer white for the fungi and Acanthamoeba, where it will appear as a bright white. These stains need a fluorescent microscope. The Gomerin methamin silver, it's best for fungi. The cell wall and the septa stain black in this and against a green background. A lactophenol cotton blue also can be used to see the fungal elements. The picture shows the hyphae stained in the gram stain. The acridine orange, it is a fluorochromatic dye that binds to the ribonucleic acid. The microorganism fluoresces the orange, whereas the epithelial cells and PMN leukocytes fluoresce the green color. The acridine orange stains accurately predicts the culture results in 71 to 84% of the cases and has been reported to be more sensitive than the gram stain. The Calcifer white and another fluorochromatic dye that binds to the chitin and cellulose in the cell wall of the fungi and Acanthamoeba cyst. And these organisms, they stain bright green under the epifluorescent microscopy. The picture shows the fungal hyphae elements under Gomery methylamine silver and also under the lactophenol cotton blue stain. A large South Indian series of the study of around 1,352 patients with culture-proven fungal keratitis found the following sensitivities for detection of the fungal keratitis. That is, for KOH preparation, it is around 91%. Calcifer white is around 91.4%, whereas gram stain 88.2% and Giemsa stain being 85.1%. So the culture mediums usually used are, one is Sapporo's dextrose agar, the blood agar, which is usually used for the aerobic bacteria and fungi, especially the Fusarium. The brain art infusion medium for filamentous fungi and yeast. It might grow within 24 hours also and usually takes 2 to 3 days for the culture. The fungal medium should be retained for a week to declare the negative results. According to the studies, the positive culture is expected in around 90% of the cases. Within 72 hours, it is 83%, and within 1 week, it is 97% of the cases. Increasing humidity of the medium by placing the inoculated plates in the plastic bags enhance the fungal growth. If the cultures are negative, then with a high clinical suspicion, we can consider for the corneal biopsy. A Sapporo's dextrose agar, it's a universal medium used to isolate the yeast and the fungi. Adding an antibacterial agent and increasing the humidity will augment the antibacterial effect and enhance the fungal growth. The Sapporo's agar, it's a commercially available and typically contains dextrose, peptone agar, and pH is around 5.6. The growth shown in the Sapporo's dextrose agar. The other newer methods of detection includes confocal microscopy, anterior segment OCT. In this, where the mycotic keratitis present as early localized or diffuse necrotic stromal cystic space. The other one is the polymerase chain reaction, last one being the genotyping. The confocal microscopy of the cornea has been emerged as a clinically useful non-invasive technique for the early diagnosis of the fungal keratitis. It produces images from the cornea with a resolution of 1 micrometer, so which is enough for an imaging of the microorganisms larger than 1 micrometer, that is usually the Acanthamoeba cyst and the fungal hyphae. Brasno et al. In his study diagnosed all the cases of suspected fungal keratitis caused by different fungal species using confocal microscopy with sensitivity equal to direct microscopy and the culture. So the confocal microscopy is a non-invasive in vivo technique useful for early detection of the fungal elements, monitoring and guidance of the treatment, and also determination of the depth of the infection. So the limitation of the confocal microscopy are that the technique is extremely user dependent and need a skilled operator and an experienced viewer. The dense corneal scarring could preclude the proper tissue penetration and also the visualization of the structures.
Ma'am, apologies for the interruption.
Through the confocal microscopy.
Ma'am, apologies for the interruption, but we need to conclude this. Thank you.
Mr. Constantino Ferrer and George L. Alio from the major part of the investigation in corneal ulcer, with a proper sample collection and meticulous reporting forms the vital part of the workup. Thank you.